TRT clinics are not built to fix you, they are built to keep you. Once you're on testosterone, you are on for life. You need it for life. You become a lifelong recurring revenue stream for them. And here's the thing, if they told you the objective truth from the get-go, what happens to your hormones, your fertility, your bits down there, your long-term health, you would walk straight out the door and you'd go down the natural route instead. The reality is this: 99% of men, certainly under the age of 60, 65, don't need TRT. They need minerals, they need cholesterol, they need vitamin D, they need a variety of other lifestyle factors like leg training, sleep. And then someone, ideally an expert who understands all of this and helps them analyze their blood work. But TRT clinics, it annoys me this, make, in some cases, billions from convincing otherwise healthy men who have nothing wrong with their actual underlying system that the only path forward is to be on injecting needles for the rest of their lives. Here are the 7 questions that they hope and pray you will never ask. Because if you do ask them and they don't lie to your face, their entire business model starts to fall apart really quickly. So, question 1, hypothetically, if you were to ask, if I want to have kids in 5 years' time and I'm on TRT and I've been on it for years, will I still be able to have them? The short answer is there is a severe, serious risk that you will not be able to have them. And clinics know this. They're hoping you won't ask, and they will downplay the seriousness of this. And it's not just about having kids, it's having healthy kids that don't have autism and various other problems. And it's partly the male's health, it's also women having kids later and older. But we can't control that. You can control yourself. Clinics know this. When you're on TRT, your LH signaling and FSH just goes down the toilet. Some guys do go on HCG, and that can help. It doesn't always, and there's a huge gamble. And that stuff is expensive. And it doesn't cover FSH. So now you need to be on TRT and HCG and FSH. And if you've got anything wrong with your estrogen at all or your sleep, you're going to need tablets for them or pills for them, anti-estrogens, which are horrendous for your cholesterol. TRT, by the way, cholesterol is fine when you're a natural. When you're on TRT, you do not want messed up cholesterol. That will give you a heart attack at some point. And then if you're on anti-aromatase AIs, inhibitors, you're adding fuel to the fire even more. Like you're going to have heart problems, and you're a walking pharmacy. Do you see how once you start on TRT, you open up a whole world of just endless injections, and then you've got the costs adding up? You are nuts in 2025 if you're going on TRT and you're not 63 years old. Question 2, will my testes shrivel up and shrink dramatically? And the answer is yeah, every time, every single time. Again, things like HCG can offset this a bit, but they will always be smaller. Always. Unused organs shrink. If you don't use it, you lose it. This is biology. It's true with life in pretty much anything. So yeah, when there's exogenous testosterone coming into the system, your endogenous production stops, your testes stop working, so of course they shrivel up. That's in a nutshell what happened. Question 3, what is the danger, what are the chances of my blood becoming too thick to the point of me having a serious heart attack or stroke? So in a nutshell, TRT dramatically increases the red blood cell production, which increases the thickness and then increases the risk of high blood pressure, and then eventually strokes and heart attacks further down the line. So obviously the more you take, the higher your dose, the longer you're on it for, the higher the risk of death, basically. Especially if you're not shredded, especially if your diet isn't perfect, especially if you're like 90% of men and you're avoiding omega-3 for some reason. Crazy combination. And once again, the natural route doesn't raise this risk at all in the first place. Like, once you're on TRT, there's a gazillionth list of things you now have to worry about if you value fertility, health, not dying, the size of your stuff down there, everything. Whereas if you stay natural, you have a clear conscience. You sleep very well at night because you don't have to worry about these endless, serious problems. Question number 4. And I think this is possibly the most pertinent one for most of you guys who have ever DM'd me on Instagram or X or commented on YouTube. And this is the one you must ask and you must get the truth from. And it's the one you must think long and hard about. And it's, if I start TRT now, will I ever be able to get my natural levels back to their peak? And the answer for most men is no. And it is brutal. And these relatively young men in their 20s and 30s are permanently screwing themselves over by doing this. Now, the longer you're on TRT, the more impossible it's going to be. If you're early on for a few weeks, you'll be fine. But the truth is, once you start that, you're down regulating various signals in the body, and the older you are, and the longer you were on for, the bigger the risk is there. It's pretty brutal, and you won't hear a TRT clinic say this, obviously. But some men never recover, truly. And then the choice is taken from them. They're on TRT for life, whether they like it or not. Yeah, it's pretty sad. TRT is often very easy to start, very tempting because it's that quick fix that everyone seems to love, but it's very hard to stop. Question 5, and this is one for slightly older gens watching this, which is, what about things like prostate cancer and TRT? Surely not a good mix, right? The answer is right, not a great mix. It's not, TRT does not cause cancer. But if you did have undiagnosed cancer, it's going to speed it up. It's going to accelerate that growth, yes. I've had family members who had that, and there's a reason they put you on estrogen treatment. So, I mean, the key is to not get it in the first place, and that's a very different topic for another time. But yes, TRT is going to make things grow faster. And yes, this is where clinics should be doing their due diligence and screening aggressively for this sort of stuff, especially in men over 40. And most of them don't, unfortunately. Question, what are we on? Number 6. What about my heart and the risk of heart attacks? Yeah, there's a huge risk. TRT increases blood pressure, red blood cell count, as we've discussed. And this is one that no one talks about. Cholesterol, which is the building blocks of testosterone for a natural, and it's super important that you eat plenty of cholesterol, eggs, red meat, things like that. When you're on TRT, it's a different game. You don't need cholesterol anymore to build the testosterone. You've already got the testosterone coming in. It changes the game entirely. And so the cholesterol genuinely is being stored in all the wrong places because your body doesn't need it anymore. That's the bro science explanation. So that's a third stack on top of the blood pressure increases, on top of the red blood cell count and a few other things to do with blood thickening out. When you stack all of these on top, and then maybe you've got some life stresses, the kids, the finances, or whatever, or a divorce, and then you add on maybe there's a genetic component in there, it's a heart attack waiting to happen. Again, if you're not shredded, this is why I keep saying men who go on TRT had better be very lean, had all the kids you've already wanted. You know, it's just not a good idea for so many people. But yeah, the big one that shocks me, and I just don't see anyone talking about this anywhere, TRT clinics or otherwise online. Cholesterol doesn't work the same way when you're on TRT. So it's a serious, serious problem. If you increase your testosterone naturally, and this is where cholesterol is required, you don't have any of these risks. Your heart health improves when you increase things naturally. When you've got really, really low testosterone, that puts pressure on your heart. So you want it in that high normal range, but without the higher blood pressure, without the cholesterol game entirely changing. So again, you sleep very well at night knowing that your heart is perfect and knowing that, you know, all of the factors remaining equal, you're going to live a long, strong, healthy life, and you're not going to be taken away prematurely from your kids, from your wife, from whoever, and that you're going to be there for them. Question 7, and I've already kind of alluded to this because it's true, but question 7 is it really just TRT, or am I going to need a bunch of other stuff as well? That's going to cost a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you, before you know it, you're a walking pharmacy. And the objective truth is Now they'll try TRT clinics will try and beat around the bush. Well, it depends. It depends on this and that. The answer is yes. You're going to end up on other stuff. It's never just TRT. So anti-aromatase inhibitors, pretty nasty stuff. Not just for your cholesterol and things like that, but also brain inflammation and mood and things like that. HCG, FSH injections, just constantly injecting yourself with everything. And then you've got blood thinners and blood pressure meds in some cases. Sleep apnea machines. So a lot of guys get sleep apnea. And that's life-threatening as well, or it can be. So, yeah, before you know it, you're just a walking pharmacy. And once you start that cycle, it's difficult to get out of it. My point is, don't start the cycle in the first place. Like, look at all my YouTube videos. They're all attacking the natural thing, the natural route, and it's all legitimate. It all works. I've got all the client testimonials. If you don't want to believe me, the clients will show you. And you're just like a pincushion at a certain point, just constant needles going into you. It's just crazy. And it's a problem as well because it's not fixing the root cause. Men in their 30s who are 25% body fat going on TRT is the most ridiculous, stupid thing you could possibly do. It shows a complete lack of understanding of the body and just huge amounts of laziness. And it's going to cause problems. And my argument is fix the underlying stuff first, and then you'll realize that you don't need it anyway, and you'll be healthier and happier. It's crazy. Fix the root problems, and it's kind of like your diet and supplements. You're taking loads and loads and loads of zinc instead of just eating some proper foods and not making yourself deficient through your diet. And because the zinc then leads to a zinc to copper imbalance, which I've done videos on before. And you're just causing more problems because you're not really addressing the root issue, which might require slightly more work and slightly more effort, but it's life-changing and it's so worth it once you get there. So, if you want to learn more about the natural route and how I went from 400 to 1020 testosterone naturally, I walk you through the entire thing in this video here. Click on that, check it out, and you can learn a lot more about the solutions that are natural instead of going down the endless TRT problems that I've listed in this video. Hope you enjoy it. I'll see you in that.